Now here it is. I don't know how old this is, but this is an old school J.C. Penney's high wheel, 4 horsepower, 22-inch cut push mower. And I got this from goofing off around with one of my brothers. He tinkered with it a little bit and said that he got it running, but I don't believe him because he's my brother. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a will it run today. Now, if we look at this thing, it's got the throttle up here and the cable works, but none of it's hooked up here. No spring or nothing. So we're just going to see if we can get it to run, which I think it needs to be over there to run. But it's been a long time since I touched a Briggs & Stratton motor. Now it came with a 3.5 Briggs carburetor and tank. He put a different tank on it, and here is the original carburetor, which has no prime button. So we're going to see if we can get it to run, and if we can get it to run, then later on we'll jump in and see if we can fix the old carburetor. But I think I can get this one to run like this. We'll just have to see. It's a little rigged. It's got random bolts holding the top on and all that, which we're going to be taking some stuff off of this. So I guess we'll just dig in. The first thing we're going to do is see it's priming okay. Now this is a 4-horse Briggs, so 3.5 Briggs parts will work except for this crank. So if this crank goes bad, we got a problem. But it says right here to place foot here when starting engine. So I'm going to do that. And then, Okay, so it should have started with those first few pulls. So we got a carburetor issue, I believe, because it sounds like it's getting plenty of fire. So let me put these spare parts on Christian's 4-wheeler. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this carburetor off. So if I remember right, that's a 13 or 14. And then it ain't bolted here, so it's supposed to be, but it ain't bolted here. So all we got to do to get this tank off is one bolt. So in the shed, I don't have the extent of tools that I would have if I was in the garage. But the garage is a god-awful mess. So I'm not going to use the garage right now until I get her cleaned up. I mean, everybody says to keep your stuff clean, neat, and organized. Well, the way I see it, if you've got a clean, neat, and organized garage, then you're not getting nothing done. So let's see what we can get done in the shed here. So got the wrong size, idiot. Now it's important to note that this bolt that holds this carburetor and tank on has a spacer, and you don't want to lose that spacer because that's what holds your carburetor on snug. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't like when my brother tinkers with stuff because he kind of jerry rigs things. Like this here, I don't understand why he has his throttle linkage like this, but nor do I understand how he has it. Looks like he shoved a tiny cotter key in here, which is where your throttle spring's supposed to be, and then it looks like he ruined it. Go figure. Let me get a pair of pliers, if I have one. I think these are junky, but if they can bend this right here to where I can get this linkage off. Which I don't think it bent it enough. Like I've said 1,000 times, my brother likes to jerry rig things. That could be why it didn't run, just because of how he has that rig. But here is carbon gas tank. So, move this over. Now this is one nasty looking setup here. But I need a Phillips screwdriver, which I probably don't. Yeah, I do. I got one. Thank the Lord for my little mechanics tool set, because without it, I don't think I could get by with just this miscellaneous box of tools that's boxes got destroyed. So I'm a poor man, and that means that I don't have a lot of the stuff a normal guy would need to get this going. Like, I don't, if I have carburetor cleaner or brake cleaner, I don't have much of it. And probably need it. Now the old Briggs & Strattons make a very simple engine setup that was reliable. The only problem is they are plastic, so you have to be careful. I can tell you right now, I think this gasket's leaking. And knowing my little brother, he put 2-cycle in it. Which, let's see what we got here. Yep, it's definitely 2-cycle. But, alright, there's your diaphragm. Try not to tear up this gasket. Alright, now I got a screen right here that could be clogged. But alright, well, it's cleaning the flat, and it's blowing through here. A little bit of trash, but not too bad. Alright, so now I want to see if kids, don't try this at home. It could be brutal. So what I want to do now, I got, if any, very little, or none at all, no brake clean. So that's a junk bottle. So I got this little liquid fuel system cleaner. It's kind of like oil, but I mean, hey, if it works, it works. I don't even know if they sell this stuff anymore, because I have siblings that just hoard a bunch of random stuff. But I'm going to pour it on here. Pour way too much in here. You're supposed to put this in a gas tank of gas. So we'll just see what turns up. Now I'm going to insert her back in here. Now put these screws back in. You want to be very careful with these plastic carburetors. If the holes don't line up, they ain't going anyway. But you want to line up your two opposite corners, get them screwed down, and then screw the rest down. My brother tinkers with chainsaws a lot, and I mean, to be honest, if he likes what he sees and I can get him on board, I'll buy him everything he needs to show you how to tinker with him, because he tinkers in the backwoods with barely anything. About to start raining here. I'll get all this snug back up. I'm going to spray a little lubricant in there, and a little lubricant in the carburetor. And then we're going to put this bolt back on right here with its spacer. Thing that I might have already noticed is that, for one, this vacuum attachment here is cracked in a couple places, and two, I screwed up without starting it before I put the carburetor on. The two is, I think there's an O-ring that's supposed to be in here that ain't. So we're just going to see what we can get done here. My brother claims to have had it running. Now, I don't know exactly how old this thing is, but it's a JCPenney. And the last I knew, JCPenney didn't sell lawnmowers anymore. Well, I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. that's for the spring. I'll put it right here. Alright, it's primed. Let's start it. I don't think it's going to run on this carburetor. So, we're going to pull it. Which won't be too difficult. So I got another carb and gas tank right here. The only problem I have with it is ain't nothing to hook the linkage to. At the same time, it's got no ring. And see how it looks inside. Ain't rusty inside. So we're going to try this bad boy. Like I said, the only thing that sucks is I don't have a way to hook this linkage up. But might be able to just we'll see. But okay, it will work, I hope. Well, that's how that's supposed to go. Now, one good thing about this thing is the engine's not hard to change, but I'd hate to change an engine just because the carburetor doesn't work. So let's just hope that we put some gas in this and it fires right up. Because I want to hear this engine purr to see if there's anything wrong with it. Because this thing's worth a lot more with the original engine. Hence the reason why I have the original carb and gas tank. Because it's really clean inside. So. Alright, so let's see if she fires. more crumbs here. Throw some lubricant in there, fill it up. Come on. Okay, so this gas tank has a leak. But that shouldn't keep it from running. It wants to. It ain't. Alright. So that takes a lot to crank something like that. So now we're in a bit of a pickle because we got a lawnmower with a junk carburetor. We actually got a lawnmower with 3 junk carburetors. So what's got to happen is I'm just going to see if I can get the old one to run. That's going to take some time. And that's something I don't have right now is time. So I'm going to pop her loose. Soak her in oil. Buy some carburetor cleaner. And looks like it's even got the O-ring. And there's no prime button on it. And it's actually got adjuster screws. So there's just going to be an episode of just working on this carburetor. But till then, I got to put it in an oil soak. So thanks everybody for tuning in. And I hope you learned something. If you didn't, I hope you at least tried. Thanks for following me on my first adventure here on the channel. And I'll catch y'all on JCPenney Mower Episode 2 Carburetor.